Welcome to the Audaci-Tea Holiday Special. We are so excited to have y'all here. We wanted to stay true to our release schedule and not have anybody be disappointed on a Monday that our podcast doesn't come out, because we love that y'all are here and we want to stay consistent with the podcast and with all of our release dates. So thank you for being here. If you're listening right now, just know that we love you, we appreciate your support, and we're so thankful to have you here. We are recording this episode without Gwen as well, just because we happen to be recording 2 episodes on the same day and she was not able to make it. But please send her all of your best, most loving thoughts, and hopefully she will be able to join us back for the next episode that we record. But for this short holiday special, we just wanted to talk about some of the misogyny that goes unaddressed and unnoticed in our holiday traditions, and just some of the kind of creepier traditions that we do without thinking. I think there's quite a few now that we have started thinking more critically about holidays. I just feel like there's just more questions coming up. And we wanted to have a little discussion about that, some of our more questionable Christmas traditions, starting with the fact that we bring children to sit on Santa's lap. Who came up with that? Who came up with that? You know, it seems like a cute thing until you realize, until you kind of think too hard about it.
Yeah.
And you realize how many men actually are interested in grooming and molesting children, and how that is a perfect opportunity to do that.
It's creepy.
It's just a great way to train your kids with being okay to sit on strange old men's laps.
Yeah. When I was in 4th grade, we were having a picture with Santa, which I thought I was too old for that. But so anyway, what I did is I took a picture with Santa with my arm around him and stood on the side of him.
Good for you.
I squatted down and took a picture. And I think somebody in my family still has that picture of me too, by the way. I think it's my auntie. It has that picture. If I come across it, I'll show you. But yeah, because, I understood at that age. I mean, I was 9 or 8 in the 4th grade. I think I was 8 turning 9, and I know I was 9 turning 10 in the 5th grade. So yeah, I'm just everybody else was way older than me. Because my birthday's in October. So, But yeah, I just knew something was very creepy about that. And I also never believed in Santa Claus either, even when I was super young.
Right. It's another one of those man in the sky type of contraptions. It seems almost religious, like a man who sees you when you're sleeping and knows when you're awake, and he knows everything you've ever done. Are he and God related?
I never thought of that before. You are so correct. I never put the two together. Oh my God. I have never put those two things together.
It just seems like it's just another way to reinforce the patriarchy, right? The man that watches us all.
Yeah.
From the sky and from inside of us. It's just so weird.
So creepy.
It's so weird. And then you write him letters with all of your hopes and dreams.
He's the only one who can grant them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
some
uncomfy.
Man. It is.
Yeah. And I don't know. I feel and then there's gifts involved. All of that stuff is just giving grooming, right? A man
I agree.
wants you to sit on his lap, and then he gives you toys.
I've never made that connection before, but you are absolutely correct. It's crazy.
I just made that connection today. I'm not even joking. I was just sitting there thinking, what are some other kind of weird things that we do on Christmas? And I was like, you know what? The fact that there's lines out the door at the mall every year so that parents can put their kids on a strange old man's lap. And I get it. It's cute. I'm not saying oh, y'all are creepy for that. No, it's just something we don't think about, which is how a lot of these kind of misogynistic or creepy traditions get normalized and started, because men, when it comes to child abuse, they're not very picky, if you know what I'm saying. So
yeah.
I feel it's just a good way to groom kids to think that all, creepy old men mean well for them and are going to give them gifts or something. I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me. Yeah, and he has like a beard that covers up his whole face. And they also didn't even used to try and make Santa look friendly. Like a lot of the pictures that people have with like Santa from back in the day, he looks kind of scary. I don't know. I feel like he didn't start out as such a jolly old man. He was kind of like, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of the Easter Bunny, but I've seen some pretty scary looking holiday photos. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to find
ones.
Yeah. Second of all, what's up with mistletoe?
I never liked it. I never did.
And also, yeah, it's giving coercion. It's like, oh, you have to do this now because we're standing under some stupid plant. Like,
yeah, I'm not kissing nobody that I don't want to kiss under no circumstances. Yeah. I don't care. I just think that's gross. It's
gross. And I feel like, yes. And it was used as a way for people to like pick up women.
Yeah.
Like, and they can't say no. Like, oh, it's funny because you can't say no because you're under the mistletoe, so you have to kiss. Like,
yeah. And they would actually say that in order to like guilt you into, you can't say no. Like,
yep.
Yes, the hell I can.
That's rape culture.
It really
I mean,
is.
not to be a, Debbie Downer, but it is.
It's just something for us to think about. Like, it really is very weird, very strange behavior.
Yeah. And I think like a lot of well-meaning parents try to do these traditions with their kids, and it's just important
without really thinking about it.
Yes.
You got to think about it. We grow up with this stuff and we really don't question it a lot of times. Exactly. We just go with the flow. It's just a part of what we do every year, you know?
Exactly.
People don't really take the time to think about it. At least I don't think.
Yeah. And speaking of rape culture, the entire song, Baby, It's Cold Outside. I think people started talking about this like en masse a couple years ago. Like somebody was just randomly like, why don't we ever talk about how creepy that song is? Like the woman wants to leave and the man is like, no, you can't because it's too cold outside. And she's literally like, my mother will start to worry. My father will be pacing the floor. I really can't stay. And he's like, no, but like you have to.
And drink some more.
Yeah. And she's like, say, what's in this drink?
Who wrote this?
Who wrote this? And then he says, beautiful, please don't hurry. Maybe just a half drink more. I'll put some records on while I pour. Like,
oh yeah, that's like coercion. That sounds like some P. Diddy type shit.
No, because look, he keeps going. It's she says, my sister will be suspicious. And he says, gosh, your lips look delicious.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like every woman has had that experience.
Yeah.
Like you're with a man and he has one thing on his mind, one thing. And you try to bring up a legitimate concern and he's like,
blowing it off.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, but your eyes are so beautiful. And like, oh, he just starts turning everything sexual.
Yeah.
Because he's just really hoping to get one in. And that's exactly what's happening in this song. She says, my maiden aunt's mind is vicious. And he once again is like, gosh, your lips are delicious. He's like, she's like, one of my aunts warned me about this. She told me this would happen. And he's like, nah, babe, you look so hot though. Like, we should make out right now. Like, your lips look so delicious.
That's horrible.
It's just so corny. It's like,
how was this song ever okay?
Yeah, I don't know because it ends with, okay, fine, just another drink. And then the guy's like, that took a lot of convincing. And it's like, oh, so he knew what he was doing. Like, she said, I don't want to stay, I want to go. And he was like, no, I bet I can convince her. And then he was like, yeah, I got her.
Did you know that it was banned or canceled?
Oh.
In 2018? I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. So
like radio stations.
Yeah, radio stations stopped playing it because
good.
People complained that the song was offensive. And then they got backlash for cutting it out, I guess.
For cutting it out.
I'm just reading it.
Yeah, people are like used to it. Like it's a pretty song. It's just, so it says the writer wrote Baby It's Cold Outside to sing with his then wife Lynn Garland for a party at their home in New York City. So he essentially wrote it for the amusement of himself and his party guests. And I'm also like, why are you writing this song with your wife? Your wife already lives with you.
Right.
Why would you write such a rapey song with your wife?
Ugh. So weird.
I do not support all women. Why would you co-sign on this? Like,
Maybe she thought it was romantic.
She did. I know she did.
He was so romantic. He was so persistent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, that persistent thing. That's also rape culture.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of women think it means that the guy is intentional and he's serious about you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's so many people's like grandparents' love story. Like I love that people have started talking about that because they're like, oh yeah, that moment when you realize your grandma was literally just coerced into her marriage because a guy would not leave her alone and nobody in her life did a damn thing about it.
That's so true. That was so common too.
Yeah, and this song is just very much a perpetuation of that. Okay, I have another one. Another, I think, it may not be directly misogynistic, but it is a little weird to me. Christmas tradition is the Christmas parties with no plus ones, like work Christmas parties with no plus ones, where it's like open bar. I've read lots of stories on the internet where like a workplace decided to do away with that. And they said, oh, you can bring your spouse. It's cool. And people were furious. Like they lobbied against it. They were like, I do not want to bring my spouse.
Really?
And like, yes, because a lot of people use these like Christmas parties as like,
oh yeah,
you know, they kind of let loose and like they start drinking and they start making bad decisions. And who wants the old ball and chain there? Or like, you know, women will describe like, oh, I came to like this Christmas work party and my husband has a whole nother work wife. Who is like trying to claim him in front of me. Yeah. Like it's so weird. And I don't know. I just feel like it's one of those traditions that's like, I don't know. It's a little bit like, oh, like don't bring your wife, like boo. Like
yeah, I agree with that.
It feels targeted. It doesn't feel like, I don't know. Or it feels like it opens up other women in the office. Like if their husband can't be there, then it's like you could swoop in and be like, oh, look, we're under the mistletoe or something. Like, I swear, like a lot of people really live and die by these once yearly Christmas parties. It's like a hall pass, I swear.
They do. I never understood what was the like allure of it. Like I didn't get it.
It's because men are taught that marriage and a wife is a ball and chain and that if she's going to be there, then they can't have fun.
Yeah, because they're planning to do things that they shouldn't be doing. Because you can have fun with your spouse as long as you aren't like doing anything. Yeah, it's like you clearly, if you have a problem with it, you're clearly planning on doing unsavory things.
I completely agree. Yes.
Because like, why else would you know?
Yeah, and it feels like one of those things like too, I've like watched through Mad Men, I think once in my life, but that was like a big thing that they emphasized. Like once women entered the workplace, that was a lot of the sort of incentive for men to keep them around is like, you get to treat these women like pieces of meat. And they would always have these kind of like company parties where these like stand up married men with like 3 children at home were boinking like secretaries in the back office at these Christmas parties.
Wow.
And then leaving their wife for the secretary, etc. So I feel like it really is like an old tradition. Like they would not allow the wives at these parties. And it was something to like sort of justify having women in the workplace. Like, oh, well, at least it's fun. Like at least you get to like grab their ass. Like terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
I don't know. But I think if I was married to a guy who never wanted me to come to his Christmas parties the first time that happened, that would be a definite red flag for me. Because in my mind, I'm like, he's hiding something. Because like, why wouldn't you want? Why wouldn't you want me to?
I know, and it seems like it's such a dumb thing to like blow up your marriage over. But
I know
men will do it. They really will. They'll do it anyway. And moving on down the list. Another thing that feels low-key misogynistic to me is the fact that women are expected to make all the magic of Christmas happen. And that there's this like running joke on the internet that dads are just as surprised at like whatever presents their kids got as the kids are themselves because they were not there when the mom was like picking everything out or making the list or whatever. They weren't there to wrap them. They weren't there to put them under the tree. They didn't care.
Outrageous.
It's outrageous.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then they get to sit there and like act surprised. And then there's gifts for them under the tree. And then there's never any gifts for mom under the tree or in the stocking or whatever is crazy. And so many women try to normalize it as like a ha funny thing. And I love when they post this stuff on the internet and people are like, no, this is not okay. Like, this is disturbing. You should divorce this person.
Right.
And they're like, no, he's a nice guy. He's a great dad.
God.
Like,
I hate when they do that. They think we're over exaggerating. And I'm not going to leave my husband because he didn't buy me a Christmas gift for the 15th year in a row. It's not,
no,
you know
seriously,
what I mean? Like,
seriously.
They'll get mad and turn on you for like looking out for them. It's crazy.
Yes. And I think I sent you a screenshot today too that was like, you've been with your husband for 19 years and you thought this year he would finally do something special for your birthday, but he didn't even remember until late afternoon. And then after you address it, he tells you that's why you have a bank card. And I feel like a lot of men are that same way on Christmas. Like, they're like, why are your feelings hurt? Like, you should have just bought your present while you were out shopping for everybody else. And it's like, oh my God, you're literally an appliance. You're literally an appliance to these men. And they just get to show up to a decorated house. Like, the most that men will do to like decorate their own house for Christmas is like put stuff up outside that they can be recognized for.
Yeah.
That other people are going to see. Like, that's what they're...
He can brag about it. Yeah, I put that up all by myself.
Yeah. Yep. Everything else, they don't give two shits. They're just happy to like benefit. They like the festive atmosphere and they get to just show up. And I think that's crazy. If you're doing that, really like stop. At least don't buy him any gifts. Like, if your kids are going to be the only ones to get presents, like, that's how it should be. If your husband didn't get you presents, that means adults don't get presents in your house. That's the new rule.
Right.
Don't fall for it.
I agree.
The kids do not need to see him opening a bunch of gifts and then you open nothing. Like, all the wrapping papers everywhere. Like, there's no more gifts under the tree and you're the only one that hasn't opened anything. That would be my 13th reason. I'd be in jail.
Right.
I'd be in jail. I'd be like, next year you guys are going to bring my presents here. Yeah, and it kind of goes along with one of my other ones that like women take over holiday shopping for their husband once they're married. And I mean that as in like extended family. I've been already reading a lot of posts from women who have canceled Christmas at their house, which good for them. This year specifically, a lot of women have done that. And their husbands are like, so, what do we have for my mom for Christmas? What did we get my mom for Christmas? What did we get my in-laws for Christmas? Like, the nerve.
Yeah, absolutely not. Like, that would be such a turn off for me.
Yeah.
A deal breaker even. To expect. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because at the very least, he could have asked you, been like, babe, I fucked up. I need help. I don't know what to get them. Like, can we go together and you help me out? And like, I'll pay for it. I'll wrap it. Like, that's one thing.
Right.
But being like, yeah, so what did we get for my family white elephant gift? Like, fuck off, dude. Why would I be doing that for your family? Like, why would I be concerned? Like, what did you get for my mom and dad? That's crazy. So yeah, definitely don't do that. Don't do that.
I agree.
And don't let your husband run your life like that, because if you show up to your mother-in-law's house and he doesn't have a gift, like, that should be on him. It should have never been on you to like figure out a thoughtful present for somebody else's mom that raised them.
I completely
especially
agree.
when they're not being thoughtful towards you at all and they're not getting you any gifts. It's like, if he can't buy a gift for other people in his life, like, why do y'all hope every year that your husband will get you a gift if he can't even manage to buy it for like his mom? Like, I don't know. It's clearly not a fucking priority to him.
I agree. Any man who doesn't want to buy his mom anything is a red flag to me. Because, like, why not?
Especially if the mom is like still in his life. She's not like abusive or whatever. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, if your mom like helps out with the kids, like raised you right, like all this kind of stuff, waited on you hand and foot when you were little. And you can't even be bothered once a year. It's like it's giving the same energy as the men who are like, why are you upset I didn't get you a Mother's Day gift? You're not my mother. But then when it's time, and then when it's time to buy gifts for their mother, do they do it?
No.
No. And that's my
never
whole
buy
problem
that man
with
anything
it.
else ever.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, and like, nor would you want to be with him. Like, that's my point. Is like, men are very often if they're a certain way in one area of their life, they're going to be that way across the board. So that's what you're dealing with. That's what you're signing up for. That was kind of my list. I couldn't really think of too many more, but just stuff to look out for on the holidays. Maybe these are traditions that you think about, before passing them on to your kids, sort of like without really critically thinking too much about it. Like, oh, it's cute. It's a Christmas tradition. We do it every year. Like, just, be discerning. Be discerning. Think about what kind of expectations that's setting up. I don't know. Do you have any more traditions that you wish didn't exist around this holiday time?
I would just say the excessive spending is out of hand, but it's been out of hand for quite a while. But I think this year people pulled back, but I don't know if it was because a lot of people were doing their shopping online or if it was because people really are waking up to the fact that they don't need to spend that much money for one day. Like you just don't need to do that. But I think people are getting wiser, and I hope I'm right. That's the only thing. I just hate the idea of people going to debt and all of that around the holidays. And I just think it's so unwise. It's only for one day. Like I don't understand it.
It really is. Ryan was also showing pictures of like holiday Christmas movies. Mm-hmm. And I'd have to agree. I mean, a lot of rom-coms, but especially like Christmas themed ones that use the miracle of Christmas as like a hall pass.
Yeah.
He was showing Love Actually. I've actually never seen it. I'm not a huge fan of rom-coms because it's always felt like brainwashing to me. So
yeah, it is.
I've just never liked it. I've never liked how women were represented in those movies as like weaker and like they always have to give up their career and like their whatever it is they were going to do to end up with some small town loser. Mm-hmm. I hate that. So yeah, do not use the spirit of Christmas to settle down with a mediocre, unremarkable, unhelpful man named Jason.
Couldn't agree more.
It's not going to get you any further in life. He's only going to drag you back. That's why they love, and I know that this is a season where like a lot of people get engaged. Like that's another thing, everyone's announcing engagements, pregnancies and stuff like that. And people get caught up in that. I want that. And I just want to have somebody to come home to and sit by the fire with. And it's like, it's not worth it, girl. I promise. Don't do it.
I agree.
We need a movie review segment.
Yeah, I know we should.
Okay. All right. Movie review segment coming soon. I'm going to watch Love Actually and talk a bunch of shit about it. All right, let's wrap this up maybe with some of our favorite traditions or like movies that we do like to watch around Christmas time, or I don't know, something you feel like would actually be cute and wholesome that people could do.
I always watched Home Alone.
Yes.
Growing up and like still now, like around Christmas time is one of my favorite movies to watch.
It's amazing. I'm trying to think. We usually watch Die Hard, which I kind of like.
We watched that last week.
Yeah, I kind of like because his wife is like a badass and she's like an independent career woman, or his ex-wife, and like she left him for a reason. I just like how it starts. I don't like how it ends, but wait, do they end up back together? They end up together at the beginning or at the end of the first movie. And then they're once again not together for the second and third one. So apparently she figured it out. She had a moment of weakness. But yeah, I like that one. Okay, well, there's two good Christmas movies. Maybe. Not Love Actually. We don't recommend that one, apparently. Yeah, I just think some new traditions should be not buying Christmas presents on your husband's behalf. Don't buy Christmas presents on anybody else's behalf unless they're a child. Mm-hmm. Unnecessary spending. I think we should really curb that around the holidays because a lot of retailers really depend on that. They give you shitty prices and low quality products year round, knowing that they're going to make up most of their bottom line come holiday spending, like come Black Friday and Christmas and all that. So they sort of depend on guilting women into spending a shit ton of money. I also would say like those trends where like you have to have like a different Christmas tree every year and like a different theme, like let's leave that in the past.
I know.
Buy one tree, buy one thing of decorations and use them every year. It's going to be sentimental.
That's what I do.
It's nice. It doesn't promote overconsumption. I like it.
Oh, The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes.
And ever since 5th grade, I used to watch that.
There's debate on whether that's a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie, but I think it's a Christmas movie at the end of the day. Oh, also the Grinch movie is pretty good. The one with Jim Carrey.
I can't remember if I've ever seen it.
You should. I watched it for the first time last year and it holds up. He's just like a nasty, grumpy old man and like wants to steal joy from everybody. And it's because it's an inside job. Like he feels bad about himself on the inside.
I feel like I watched it. I feel like it was one of those movies that you watch, but you don't really watch it. Like watching the background type. I feel like I started watching it and I just didn't finish it or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's good. It's funny. And they stick to the, I don't know.
I'm going to watch it. No, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah. I was a teacher, so I used to read that book to my kids every year. And they stay like very close to the script, which I think is great. So.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, I don't know. I just think it's cute. Yeah, and then there's like so many cool like free traditions that you can do. Like lots of cities put up lights downtown. Like Christmas does not have to be about consumption and about spending like ridiculous amounts of money on people that you, especially as a mother, that you already serve from morning to night. You already give them so much of your quality time and love and everything. And like your kids deserve to have a good Christmas, but it's just one of those things. Like, don't put so much pressure on yourself because your husband doesn't.
Right. Don't go broke. Don't get in debt. And you can really just, do your traditional tree and house decorations and just cook dinner and just celebrate. Because to me, I will say I have always loved like the spirit of Christmas or whatever you want to call it, where you just feel a certain way around Christmas. I don't really know the word to describe it, but it's really about just getting with close loved ones and just celebrating each other,
Absolutely.
Just celebrate life in general. You don't have to go broke and go in debt. That's just my take on it.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things that we as humans do to kind of get through winter, in my opinion. Like you have to, like the pretty lights, like that's so nice. That's just a way to not be like seasonal depressed all year long.
I
don't know. I'm always really sad once that Christmas season is over and like people take their lights off their houses. Like I wish we had Christmas at the end of February or something.
I know. I usually keep my tree up for a couple months after, so. Because I just like the lights.
Yeah, it's so nice and cozy. It's basically people practicing like hygge, that concept of coziness, like being like if the weather's not cooperating with what you want to do outside, like just make inside.
Absolutely. Yeah. Make it your own. Yeah. Make it cozy. Yeah, absolutely. I love the Christmas lights look, and you do not have to take your tree down if you don't want to. I'm an advocate for keep your tree up if you want to, because I would keep that tree up until like probably February. I'm not even joking.
I need it till February. I need to be cheered up. Yeah. I need that Christmas cheer. Yeah. Scale it back. It's okay to go minimal. And like we said in Operation Femfreeze, you're going to want that money come next month.
You're going to need it, right.
You're going to need it to buy groceries. So let's all just chill.
I completely agree. You're going to be like, dang, why did I... It's going to you might feel weird at first not buying all the gifts and spending all the money that you're used to, but after the season is over, it's only one day. Mm-hmm. And once it's over and you look in your bank account and you see you still got a big chunk of your money, you're going to feel very good about that. So just look at it that way.
Yeah. And I would also just caution, like, just before we wrap it up, like, don't tie up your self-worth, especially as a mother or grandmother. If any grandmothers are listening, I'm begging you, do not tie up your self-worth in how many presents you can get all of your grandkids or kids or whatever every year. Because I have seen people go in debt. I have seen people get like, what's it called? Like a advance on their check, pull out of their retirement account just so that the grandkids can all sit there and open up, a bunch of toys that they may or may not play with for like a day or two. That their parents are going to be like, oh, why is all this shit? I'm just tripping over it. It's just taking up space in my house.
Toss
Just don't do it. Just don't do it. It's fine. The kids will be fine. Get them one thing and they'll play with it all night. Get them 30 things and they're just going to be overwhelmed. They're not going to know what to do.
And don't be afraid to shop at like little, places where, they have at like thrift stores or whatever. Yes. A lot of thrift stores have brand new toys and stuff like that because they'll have like places like Target or wherever would donate to them. So you can go in there and really save some money instead of going in, spending all your money at like these big name stores.
Absolutely.
You can go into like a thrift store or like one of those little mom and pop stores. I don't know. They're different everywhere, but and save a lot of money that way. Brand new stuff. These kids, especially if they're really young, they don't know the difference.
They do not know the difference. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids will end up playing with like the box instead of the toy anyway.
I know. And they'll play for the toy, play with the toy for like 2 days and then just toss it to the side.
Yeah. Or they'll be jealous of somebody else's toy. Like, it's not that serious. It's really not. And you're not going to like make somebody's holiday more magical just because they have a ton of gifts. Like, their holiday is going to be magical because they felt loved and special.
Absolutely.
And they got to spend that time with like their cousins, whatever, playing. Like, that's what they're going to remember. I remember maybe one of my Christmas gifts that once I got old enough and I was really like super serious about getting this parrot where you could record your voice and it would parrot it back to you. I really wanted that. And I just remember that's like the one Christmas gift I remember. Everything else before that was like, oh, this is great. This is nice. Like, I'm just happy that we got to have this like festive thing. And every culture celebrates differently, but yeah, like we still do gifts and stuff. It's just not that big of a deal. Like, people are not out here going into debt to buy gifts.
I agree.
That's like a Western thing. And like, like a lot of people just want to have this illusion too of like a ton of gifts piled up under the tree. And so they end up buying like a bunch of cheap shit for everybody.
Oh,
and
I know.
Like, are you happy? Like, you have a bunch of Christmas presents under the tree, but you've gotten people garbage. Like, what are we going to do with this? I don't know. It looks cool at first.
Yeah.
And like, people just want to post that stuff to Instagram and be like, look how many presents we wrapped. Like, oh, we're so rich. It's like, you're in credit card debt.
I totally exhausting. Agree. That's so funny.
I'd rather get one nice thing,
Yeah. Don't be that person.
I definitely second the thrift store thing. I just went into a thrift store and got a brand new curling iron, like a $90 curling iron for $6.99 in the box.
Oh, wow.
Never touched, never unwrapped. Like,
because people have stuff and they'll like donate it. They're like, oh, this doesn't work. I don't want this. And it'll be like, oh, I don't like this color shirt, or I thought it was going to fit differently, and they'll just take brand new stuff and donate it. It happens all the time.
I've done that before. Like, I've gotten something on sale and I'm like, look, I'm literally never going to wear this. Like, I might as well.
Me too. I
might as well be the reason that somebody is like excited that they find something brand new in a thrift store. Because also so many things in like thrift stores, people give it up when it's like a little too late. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
It's got like a stain on it that won't come out. It's like, it's okay. It's okay to donate new things too. But
I agree.
Yeah, all in the name of like not over consuming. And I love that. I also feel like kids these days are like a lot cooler with that. Like, I don't know. I feel like my generation sort of viewed thrift stores as like not cool.
Yeah.
Until that Macklemore song came out, and then everybody was all about it.
The thing I like about thrift stores is you always find like certain antique stuff that you just won't find anymore. That's what I love. Like this old school like tea sets or whatever. I like stuff like that.
And do you know how much more excited like the real like collectors in your life would be if you like took the time not to just buy something on Amazon that
I know,
looks like it's the thing of interest, but like you actually researched it and like found out like even like Pyrex glassware, right? There's people that collect it.
Oh, I know.
And they're like, no, but not the ones that is written in all lowercase letters. It has to be all capital letters. Otherwise it'll shatter or whatever. And it's like, how much more special would somebody feel if you like took the time to research something and you went and got them a tea set instead of buying some cheap mass-produced crap on Amazon. You got them something that they'd never be able to find anymore.
I know.
Like, there's ways. It's so much more thoughtful, but a lot of people just want to have the show of it, and they get on Amazon and order so much crap, and then it comes in and it's like, well, it's not exactly, but you should be grateful anyway. And it's like, okay,
It's
good.
the thought that counts.
Yeah, it's just like more junk in my house. No, thank you. Anyways, good talk. Yeah. I that's all we have for y'all this holiday special. We hope that you enjoy your holidays, whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate it or don't celebrate it. I hope y'all enjoy some good time off work for those of us that are privileged enough to not have to work over the holidays. If you do have to work over the holidays, I'm so sorry. I hope that you can get a break. I think I have been happy to see a lot of places be closed on Christmas again. That
Me too.
Had become like, or Thanksgiving or whatever. I hope that more of y'all's like supervision and management and companies are taking a step back from that as well, so that y'all can enjoy that time with your family, hold your loved ones close and all that, and hold on to your butts because January's coming. So Godspeed, y'all.
Yeah.
And happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
See you next time. Bye.